Yo, you done yet?
Am I done yet?
It's just a wall.
Yeah, I know, but have you met her?
Yeah.
She wanted something nautical, and I see everything's blue.
Yeah, because blue is blue. What does it matter?
No, I know.
Right?
I know.
Okay, well, what's that one? Color of the year.
Oceanside.
Oceanside.
That sounds nautical.
That sounds nautical enough
She's
to me.
gonna
I don't
have
care.
to deal with it.
All right.
Hey, are you coming to dinner?
Yeah, hold on. I just got to finish this because I said I was going to place my order tomorrow.
I thought you were just gonna get the gray one.
It's not great. There's 40 colors. This is mocha anthracite metallic.
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And today we want to find out if the Mercedes-ness of the A250 4MATIC can trump the performance of the Golf R.
Because they're both all-wheel drive and they're matched in price.
So yes, these are price matched, and yes, the Golf R is the performance car of the two. And it does come in some really cool colors, as Angry James pointed out in the intro. But the thing is, this comparison isn't just performance versus luxury, because the Golf R has some pretty nice finishing, and a great interior. But it is very much worth noting, under the hood of the R is the 2-liter TSI turbocharged engine, which as usual has better internals and a larger turbocharger than its siblings. So that, coupled with the DSG transmission and all-wheel drive, means this thing could get to 100 kilometers per hour in under 5 seconds. So it's fast, nice, and really, really blue. So let's see what the Merc has to offer.
Enter the most affordable Mercedes in the lineup, the A-Class. And in Canada, we get the hatchback. Sorry, America. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
And while it's not an AMG variant, this A250 is no slouch, with 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque powering all 4 wheels when necessary via the 4MATIC system. Add a bunch of options and this hatch will run you a little over 48,000 Canadian as tested. But it's those luxurious extras that make the R in Golf R stand for wrecked. The inside of the A-Class is stunning and modern, and despite its petite looks from the outside, it actually has a more cavernous boot space than the Golf R. But as Thomas said, we want to find out if that's enough to make up for its inferior performance numbers, and in the real world, how inferior do those numbers actually feel?
But before we get started, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell so you get notified as soon as our videos come out. And for extra content and behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram at The Throttle House.
All right, the Golf R. This has 288 horsepower, which is down 4 horsepower from last year, but it doesn't matter. It's still got more than James's pithy 221, and it is launch control. Foot in the brake, foot down, launch control program active, and this is genuinely good.
Okay, I'm not going to launch this car. Thomas is probably off somewhere launching the Golf R. That's not what this car is about. And he's also probably going on about how it has more horsepower. But when it comes to the actual torque, I'm only 22 pound-feet of torque less than him, which is a reasonably insignificant amount if we're discussing the luxuries this has on top.
All right, yes, this is the DSG transmission, and I actually don't really like the DSG and the GTI nearly as much as I do in this, because in this, it's razor sharp, the downshifts are so fast, and you can downshift easily into first gear with absolutely no jerk in the car whatsoever. And listen to the upshifts. It's so quick, and you get DSG farts coming out the back. However, it does have these little plasticky paddles, which they're in a good spot, and they work really well, but it'd be kind of nice if they were like an alloy of some kind. Steering wheel is really nice, though, and the digital gauge cluster, which we'll talk about later, is actually really, really good.
And while his can hit 100 kilometers an hour in like 5 seconds, this does it in a claimed 6.2. And it really, you don't want for speed in this. It's not a very exciting engine note, but then it's not piping in engine sound either, so at least it's honest with itself.
This car actually sounds pretty good, but then you realize that it kind of sounds fake because there's 4 cylinders and it sounds like there's 5, because it pipes in a fake noise. If you can get over that, there's quite a fair bit of drama for what the car looks like on the outside. However, I still find that the Golf R, in the way that it does power delivery and noise and everything, is far more towards the side of sophisticated than it is athletic.
So we're in a 2-litre turbo engine that pushes out 221 horsepower, and thanks to the 4MATIC system we get to put the power to all 4 wheels, which in Canada is a lovely thing to have. In fact, for $2,000 cheaper you get the front wheel drive version, which, I don't know, for Canada the extra $2,000's a no-brainer for all-wheel drive. Like, honestly, putting my foot down in this, and there's 100. It is quick enough, for sure.
Yeah, power delivery is really good. I found in automatic mode though, in anything other than race mode, it doesn't really want to downshift. It kind of just lugs the engine at low RPMs, and that gets a little bit annoying.
In sport mode it hangs on to the revs, which is good because it gives you the access to the torque when you need it, but also it's not a very nice sound. So we have the same complaint in the C-Class. It hangs on to revs and it just kind of drones its way down. But unlike the C-Class, which has a 9-speed, this goes through a 7-speed, which is less speeds. So it is a dual clutch automatic, but the shifts are really nice. I have found it a bit jerky around town though. It sometimes doesn't know quite what gear it wants to be in, and in that sense, it's not completely intuitive in the way that I think the DSG is.
All right, I've been doing 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is decent for this much power. Okay, handling. This is an all-wheel drive car. Haldex system puts up to 50% to the back if it is needed. It's very, very reactive, and you don't feel like you're getting that scrub in the front end from understeer like you would in a GTI. And I can tell you from experience that if you're on a slippery surface, you can get all 4 wheels spinning and pull off giant 4-wheel power slides. I'll overlay footage of that right now. That said, however, the way that the car feels at the limit is very similar to a front-wheel drive car. I find that when you really start to push it, you get the front end understeer. It doesn't kind of like light up the way that the Type R does or the Focus RS did.
But even in sport mode, the steering's too light. That's my complaint about this, and in the way that the Golf R is not. And there's quite a big deadness on center here. There's a little bit of motion, but like, you really have to start turning the wheel to feel any difference, and I know that the Golf R is sharper, but it's light and it's accurate, so for ease of living, it's actually really easy to live with. And I just turned around on the corner there. The turning circle in this is like Fiat 500 level. It's amazing. But switching this thing into comfort mode is when it shines. The whole overarching thing of this is luxury, and the ride is so nice. I've been living with this in the city. There's potholes galore, some of them imported from the moon, and this really, it does well with it. I don't find myself feeling uncomfortable. I don't find myself apologizing to my passengers. It's a really good car.
Okay, so this is the Golf R, so it has thicker sway bars and a few other suspension tweaks over the GTI, and it is definitely going to be a more buttoned down and more planted vehicle than that Mercedes that James is in. The steering is actually quite heavy. It has variable ratio steering, so I turn in and it gets more aggressive. I actually like the steering in this. I don't remember liking the steering in this as much as I did last time I drove a Golf R, but honestly, it's good. The front end turns in quite well, decent weight to it. It feels like a sporty hatch. It feels like a hot hatch. Even though overall, I would say that this car still, for me, leans more towards comfort and everyday usability. It does everything very, very well. And for all those reasons, I'm really keen to see how the Mercedes does, because it definitely leans more towards luxury. And if it can be sporty enough, it's a really tempting alternative.
And also, these screens are incredibly dynamic. You can modify them massively, and I've got it in the standard mode because I really like it, but there are some other funky modes you can do. And at nighttime, there's a bunch of ambient lighting. There's 64 ambient lighting settings as well, so you feel like a boss. And as we're about to find out, because I'm going to go talk to Thomas now, the interior and the technology of this crushes the Golf R. That's a very blue car.
This is really good at being a Golf R.
How's that even a compliment?
It's really, nothing can Golf R more than this.
You are a very average Thomas. You're very average at being Thomas.
That does not mean it's average, that means it's good. It means it's just so competent at everything that it does.
This is one of the cleanest looks I've seen for the Golf R.
Yeah, it's a bit understyled though. I still think this.
Is it understyled?
It's not.
The whole point of the Golf R is it's the subtle version.
Yeah, I get that. But thankfully we have these colors. We have the spectrum of colors now, right?
Yes.
And this is 24 blue.
No, no, this is 91 blue. For like 1991.
All right, whatever. 91 blue.
And this
okay.
is Jupiter Red.
Jupiter Red.
Yeah, it's a planet.
This is a good, thank you. This is a good looking car, actually.
It's really sweet looking, but this does have some upgrades. This whole car is a shopping package.
That's a Mercedes thing.
Yeah, it starts as an empty cart.
Yeah.
So like this has adaptive LED headlights, which are extra. It has an AMG package. It's called a night package, but it comes with AMG styling. So we get black accents. We get these 2-spoke, 5-spoke, double 5-spoke wheel, AMG wheels, black wing mirrors.
Oh,
yeah,
look at this.
The carbon fiber.
They're dirty, but I have carbon fiber wing mirrors.
They're really cool.
I have 19-inch wheels, which are very cool looking.
No, the black accents on this with the blue, it's awesome.
It looks fantastic. This is actually one of the nicest blues I've seen on a car.
This reminds me of the blue on, it's like a Miami blue for Porsche, and also similar to Audi's e-tron, that new blue.
Yeah. No, it's really, really good. I don't know, let's look at the back.
I'm not sure about the chrome door handles though. They're a bit.
It makes it too much Mercedes.
They would look good body color or black.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, quad exhaust, little tiny R badge, which isn't big enough to show off that you have an R.
Yeah. I think this is pretty sweet.
Are these real?
Huh?
Are these real?
We don't talk about that.
Are those real, James?
They might not be.
They might not be real. They're not real.
What's real anymore? You know?
You know what? Those are real. Wait, are they? They're real. Those are real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Quad exhaust looks really good on that.
It does, actually.
It's very Audi S model.
This kind of, I've been told by two of my friends, Jerry and Lewis, it looks like the back of a Kia Forte. And I think I agree with them.
Is that props to the Kia or?
Props to the Mercedes, I don't know.
All right, you want to get destroyed in the interior section?
Yeah, okay. Wait, let's start with mine first.
Okay.
Okay. All right, this hasn't changed much.
It's a Golf.
But it's one of the few cars that I would say it's not due for an update. You know how we always say that?
Yeah, it doesn't
It
feel old.
It
No.
feels, especially with this digital dash, which actually I really like in here.
I like that.
I didn't like this in the Jetta, even though I'm positive it's the exact same dash. If for some reason it fits in here really, really well.
I like it.
Yeah? No, it's good. White stitching looks really neat on the steering wheel with the little R badge. Otherwise, the infotainment is fine. There's a thing where you bring your hand up and it goes whoosh, and it shows you stuff. I wish it made a sound effect like that.
You got heated seats?
I do have heated
Do you have a
seats.
heated
I
steering
do
wheel?
not have a heated steering wheel. Otherwise, the main takeaway from this is just build quality.
Yeah.
It's just really nicely done. Everything fits really well, and the same as the exterior. The
Yeah,
panels
the
line
Germans
up
don't mess
perfectly.
around.
We just got it of a Tesla Model 3, and in
No comment,
comparison,
no comment.
in comparison,
Okay. I got kidnapped doing that. So. You got a Fender sound system?
yeah,
Is
it's
that
decent. It's decent actually.
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all.
Fender versus Burmeister in that one.
Otherwise, this is a golf cabin, and it is very good. Let's look at the back seats really quickly. Okay, so the front seats are really comfortable and bolstered, and it's like a nice leather. And
Yeah.
back here, they're also really comfortable.
I'm really comfortable right now, and it's like soft.
It's soft. I got a ton of headroom and side headroom and arm room. Like, it's just really usable back
No
here.
sunroof though.
No, you can't get it in the R, only the GTI, which is fine.
Okay,
Helmet.
so you can get the digital gauge cluster in the R, but
Yes.
and
But
no,
also in the GLI, you get the gauge cluster, but then there's no sunroof in the R, but you can get it in the GTI, but no digital gauge cluster.
yeah.
Got it.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. All right.
It's just in a different league.
Welcome to luxury.
It's just like the door, this is soft.
Come here, can we start with
This
the bad
is
stuff?
soft. What's the bad stuff?
Piano black.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Oh, down here too.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
assume you can trim out. Like when we were in the C300,
You can make it wood.
Yeah, you couldn't even get it in the States, the piano black.
Yeah,
so.
no.
So again, this is a
soft.
shopping cart of a car. So there's loads of packages. One of the packages we have is the premium package, which
Okay.
you cannot option this car without. It comes with.
You mean you have to, or it?
No, you don't have to, but
you really
you'd be
should.
mad not to.
Okay.
It's 3,000 Canadian, whatever that is in the US, and it comes with everything, like the 10-inch dual screens, the blind spot assist, Apple CarPlay, everything you think comes with a luxury car, you need that package.
So you
to
need
get.
that. So that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Then.
So the
Okay.
base price of this car is not the base price of this car. It
Okay, so this has the thumb adjusting.
has
things
the awesome steering wheel, thumb adjust.
that
yeah.
all Mercedes are doing, and it
Really.
works so well. And I've
Yeah.
got this pad down here, which this has got haptic feedback, and that's really intuitive. God, like their calibration of like what I think my finger should do to what happens on the screen is just bang on, right?
It's perfect. I've
What a-
really got on with this system well.
What a good job.
All right, but the important thing for this car is that the tech is like top notch.
Yeah.
So we have an augmented reality GPS.
You showed me that. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's so cool.
I mean, we got standards. We got heated seats, heated steering wheel, which is an extra.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we have Hey Mercedes, which is the.
How can I help you?
There you go.
See,
She's ready
she's
to help.
ready to-
yeah.
ready to go.
I actually have a list from Mercedes
Of things that you can
to
ask?
try. Yeah.
Hey Mercedes,
What would you like to do?
Close the sunshade.
I'm closing the roller sun blinds.
I don't think I've ever seen
That's
that. Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, Mercedes,
How can I help you?
do I need an umbrella today?
No, it doesn't appear to be raining at the moment.
Oh,
It
that's
hasn't
nice.
rained at all today in the current location.
She's not wrong. All right, let's go check out the back seats because I've heard that they're smaller.
They've been...
I'm sorry, did we interrupt you?
No,
No, thank you.
enough.
Okay.
Honestly, not that bad at all.
It's actually not that bad, you know?
Not as soft. Not as soft
Not
as the
nearly
Golf R.
as soft as the Golf R. Headroom is fine, like...
These aren't heated.
But yeah, no, this is totally fine.
Really nice. Those ones are memory seats as well, by the way.
Is it-
Although $450 upgrade to get the passenger seat as a memory seat too.
$450. How much do you love your spouse?
Not enough.
Can I drive this now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, A250. You know what? There's actually a decent amount of torque. It's not a slow car. It's actually quick. It's bordering on hot hatch territory, actually. It's like, it feels almost as fast as a GTI. It's not as fast as the Golf R, though.
All right, Thomas was going on about the launch in this, so let's see what's going on here. Foot down and go. Oh, whoa, hello. And there is your 0 to 100. That was good. This thing's fast. Definitely quite a bit faster than that Mercedes.
All right, the steering is really light. Weight builds in the corner though, and it's pretty obvious where you're pointing it, but the biggest thing I notice is at the front end of this, it feels a lot more like boat-like than the Golf R does. The Golf R is way more connected to the road. However, the undeniable thing about this car is that it's in just a different level of luxury. Like the interior of this, it feels so much more futuristic and so much nicer than the Golf R. And that's saying a lot because Golfs have really good interiors. It's a little bit complicated, a little bit to get used to, but once you do, this is just awesome. It's in the future and it feels fantastic.
Also, I know that sound is piped in. I think it sounds really good. I like it. It sounds much more infused than the Mercedes. I love the color of this car. You can see it everywhere. It's so bright. The fact that this comes in like 40 colors is one of my favorite things about this car. Yeah, the turn-in is tighter in this, and there's less of a deadness on center. And also the nose is shorter on this. Oh, I like that DSG. Okay, so this is tough. Like the moment I got in this car, I was reminded why it's so good, and the feeling between this and the Mercedes once I got in this was, it was kind of like a things just got interesting type moment because they're weirdly closely matched. Even if not in power, just like the bars of all the things you'd want from a car, the aggregate is got to be a similar number. So it's really tough. It's a really tough decision.
For everyday living, I think this is probably the better choice. But for me, I still always lean towards the car that's just a little bit more fun to drive every day, and the Golf R just gives that to me. So I think, at this point in my life anyway, I would still sacrifice the luxury that this has for the fun that the Golf R gives you all the time. But it's honestly so close. That is not an easy choice to make, period.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. These seats are more. I get on with these seats more, but then the sheer tech and beauty of the interior of the Mercedes wins me over. You know what? For me, this would come down to going to the dealers of each one and being like, "What can you do for me?" And that's how I'd probably decide.
So let us know your thoughts. Which one would you take? Leave us a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.